Hey Valley Man, welcome back to another G67 math video. Tonight we're going to be interpreting circle graphs, but let's start off with our trivia question I picked up during the Olympics tonight. How large is the Amazon rainforest compared to the United States? We'll be back with that answer after our instruction. Officially tonight our target is I can interpret circle graphs on 3. Let's do this thing. Alright, study the graph below. If Martha spent $450 on school supplies, how much did she spend on clothes and shoes? All right, well, we can see by this pie chart that she spent 68.5% on clothes and shoes. So which that means she spent 68.5% out of the 100%. And the 100% was equal to $450. So what we want to know is what part of 450 is the same as 68.5% out of 100. Ratio proportion box works awesome for this. We'll just call it the box. The box. We'll take 450, we're going to multiply that diagonally times 68, sorry about that folks, 450 times 68.5, and then we're going to divide that by 100. My zero doesn't work too great there, does it folks? And we're going to get $308.25. She spent $308.25 on clothes and shoes. All right, lots of different things that we're going to be working with tonight, looking at graphs, interpreting, trying to figure out how we can convert from a percentage to dollars and figure out parts and wholes. They're really pretty simple, and if you use the box, I think you're going to be very effective and be able to do it very efficiently as well. A couple of review vocabulary words tonight. We've got the central angle. That's this angle right here. So if this is point O in the middle, and this is point A and point B, this angle formed here, that's the central angle, and we can figure out that measure if we need to. We know that there are 360 degrees in a circle, right? And we also know that there are 14% out of 100 is equal to something out of 360. We could set up a ratio proportion and figure out what that angle is, but that's not what we're being asked to find tonight. And then of course, the circle graph we've been talking about. So what we are asking to find tonight is to interpret information from there. So on this graph here, we want to know how many kids chose math as their favorite subject. So let me see if I can get in my lines here for the box. All right, so there's 150 students who voted, or 1,050 students who voted, and 20% chose math. So right away, I'm going to put 20% over 100% because I know that 20% out of the 100% chose math. And I know that there was 1,050 kids total. So I want to know what percentage or how many kids out of 1,050 are equal to 20% out of 100. So I'm going to multiply diagonally and then I'll divide down. And if I do that, I got to find it here. There it is. There's an arrow there someplace. There it is. Multiply diagonally 1,050 times 20%. Divide by 100. I find out that that's 210 kids. 210 really smart kids who chose math as their favorite subjects. All right, let's take a look at another situation here. My brother JB lives on a farm and he gets rid of his trash in 3 different ways. Some of it he burns, 14%, 31% he recycles, and then some is sent to the waste management to the landfill. So what we're trying to find out here is it says that he recycles about 42 pounds of trash every month. About how many pounds does he burn? Round your answer to nearest pound. Well, I want to remind you that we can set up ratios too as not just top to bottom as a fraction, but ratios going side to side. So I know that 42 pounds of his recycling is equivalent to 31%. So really, what I want to know here is how many pounds are equal to 14%. So 42 is to 31 as something is to 14. I can take and put that in there and multiply 14 times 42, divide by 31. Rounding to the nearest pound, that comes out to be 19 pounds. Let's see if that looks right. This larger area, 31. The smaller area, 14. Yeah, that looks about right too. I mean, the answer makes sense too. All right, let's take a look at one more and then I'm going to... Actually, I'm not. I'm just going to have you do one right now. How many kids in this out of the survey here chose tennis as their favorite sport? A total of 600 surveyed, and I want to know how many kids. All right, go ahead and pause. Well, if you did it right, you set yourself up a little box here, We had 12% of the kids chose tennis out of 100. So many out of 600 that is equivalent to. 600 times 12. 7,200 divided by 100 is 72. 72 kids chose tennis as their favorite. All right, I got one more here. According to this graph, your ticket to the show. According to this graph, what percentage of the year do kids spend playing video games? I thought this was interesting. I have no idea if it's correct. I doubt it. It seems a little excessive, but it was kind of a fun picture. So we've got 8,760 hours in a year. School is at 900. We've got 3,893 hours in media or electronics. And there's a couple of pieces missing here too. But go ahead and see if you can determine that for me. What percentage of the year do kids spend playing video games? All right, tonight's trivia question. How large is the Amazon rainforest compared to the United States? Well, it's 2.124 million miles squared. It is approximately the size of the continental United States. In other words, without Alaska and Hawaii thrown in, that's how big approximately the rainforest is. Pretty amazing. Would love to see it someday. All right, thanks for listening. Hope you learned something about interpreting circle graphs tonight. Have a good evening.